What do you want your legacy to be? Do you think about your legacy?
Yes,
do you
yes.
think about
all the time? Yeah.
Because it feels like, I mean, I've read about the previous presidents because you told me the last four. You told me about
the last six.
Well, I did the last four. I think there's the last four you mentioned me last time.
The other two got away with it.
There's two in Nicaragua now?
Two are Nicaraguan citizens now.
One's in jail, one's dead. I was looking at the numbers. I mean, Antonio Sacco, was it 300 million funds? 300
million. He was accused of 300 million, probably more. Yeah.
But
he actually confessed about the 300 million.
So it could be more.
It could be 1,000. I don't know. Not him, but him and his associates, right? So,
and what was it? Your campaign was, there's enough money if we don't steal it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have a chance of building an unreal legacy of El Salvador, and I feel invested in this country. I've been 3 times this year and 5 times overall. I love the country. I'm looking to buy a property here. I love this country, right? And I feel invested in this. And you have a chance to build a legacy of one of the greatest, if not the greatest, El Salvadoran president, because you could fundamentally shift the country's economics. Do you think about stuff like that?
Yes, all the time.
Okay.
All the time, yeah. I don't collect my salary.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually very low, so I wouldn't collect it anyway. Why would I do this if it wasn't for the legacy to change this country and to change the lives of millions of people? You could say, oh, it's a small country. Yeah, but there are 10 million Salvadorans, 3 million living abroad and 7 million living here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, that could be a low number if you compare it to the 7 billion people in the world. But for me, 10 million people is a lot of people.
Well, they're your people.
Well, that's the most important thing. But also 10 million, it's a huge number for me. It could be small for other person, but for me, 10 million is huge. It's the biggest number of people I have impacted in my life. Never before I could have done something that would impact 10 million lives. And now we do. And actually, it's the first time that El Salvador is doing policy that actually impacts the 3 million that lives abroad.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And, they have never received one thing from this government. And they are actually being, thanks to them, we had actually survived economically. Yep. All of this over the last 3 decades, almost 4. So for the first time, the country is doing something that will greatly benefit them. At least, according to the big media outlets, at least $400 million a year in savings.
Uh-huh.
Not my words, their words. $400 million in savings a year. So they will save $4 billion in the next 10 years. I really think we're doing very, very positive things. And I don't think even this media outlet that I would consider to be not nice with us, they got this poll out that they say that 80% of the people were in.
I know, I saw it.
Yeah, but at the same time, in the same poll, they say the president's approval rating is intact, because they ask in the same poll, if you believe their numbers. I don't necessarily believe what they say, but even if you do, they said the president's approval rating is intact, and they said that 85% of the population approve me. I think it's more, but they say 85. Now, with their numbers, I'm pretty comfortable with 85% approval rating. And that's according to them a couple of days ago. At the same time, supposedly, the project was polling very negatively. But I don't think it's negative. I actually think it's like, it's the way that the questions are being redacted. Because what if I say, hey, I take all of your money and I'll give you back pupumi. You want that?
No.
Why?
Because I don't know. I don't understand.
But the government's going to force you to. Do you agree with that?
No.
Why? Do you think that it's a good policy for the government to give you that instead and take away your money?
Well, it comes back to the PTSD.
No. What I'm saying, you can frame the question. This is worse, the PTSD, because I understand the possible PTSD, but if you were to say euros, people will probably know them and understand.
But people don't like change.
Not necessarily. Some people like change. The problem is that when you phrase the questions like that, I mean, they go to people that they don't know what Bitcoin is, and they tell them do you want the government to take away all of your money and give you Bitcoin instead? And they say, what's Bitcoin? It's something that's virtual. Actually, you cannot touch it. I can't touch it. No, you can't touch it. Do you want that? No. But so you're against the government policy to force you to get this virtual, inexistent currency and take away all of your money, right? Yes. Okay, so you're against the government.
I'm not sure the questions were framed like that.
Well, they are. They are. If you read them, I mean, I'm trying to hyperbolize.
No, but my point being
to make it funnier. But they actually were like that because you're asking somebody that doesn't know anything about Bitcoin, that never in his life he has actually used a bank account or a credit card or a debit card or anything that's not physically touchable. Well, and then you're asking me if he is in favor of using something that he doesn't know. But when you go to the plaza and you see the Chivo spots and you see this type of profile of a person that would say no, right? Like very old man with low income that probably never had a bank account. And you see them in the Chivo spot asking for, not only him, but, a lot of people asking for information. Is he really against it? Or just he doesn't know about it and he wants to know more about it? Or he needs more, more information about it, or needs to get more used to it. And there's another thing, and I bet you have heard of this. They have said one time and again that we're going to force people to use that.
We covered this the first time. I know this. I know they're not forced to. They can have it converted to the dollar.
Not only converted.
Yeah.
Normal people. They didn't. I mean, do you think McDonald's will? Because there's a lot of what the opposition uses internationally and locally is Article 7 of the Bitcoin law, right? Of course, they're ignoring Article 8 and 12. We talked about this last time.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
So we actually need Article 7. Because if we don't have Article 7, McDonald's will not accept Bitcoin.
Well, that's the point.
But normal people, they are within Article 8 and 12. I mean, we're not forcing anybody, not even McDonald's. I mean, but if you don't include that provision, provision in the law, you would have the banks, all the big banks and all the big corporations running the show. So you actually need one thing that will tell them, yeah, you have to get on board this. I'm talking about big corporations, not a small folk or a small business or a normal person or worker. I'm talking about 20 corporations. Oh, poor corporations, they're being forced. I mean, come on. I mean, really, they are worth, hundreds of billions of dollars. They have all the money in the world. They actually pay governments to do what they want. I'm not talking about El Salvador, I'm talking about the United States.
Okay, I know.
Right? And this is not only I have invented. I mean, in the States, it's legal to pay. Here, it's illegal. They do it, but it's illegal at least. But in the States, it's legal. You can actually pay a politician. It's called lobbying.
I know.
And you can actually hire them after they actually will give $1 million jobs to politicians when they retire in the lobbying firm that they were lobbied with 20 years. So it's institutionalized corruption, and it's legal. And these corporations, they run the show. Not here. They run the show in the world. But now with social media, it's not only Bitcoin. It's social media. It's hyper-communication. That's why Bitcoin exists. So with all of this hyper-communication and all of these people with a voice, now everybody has a voice. Probably more people will watch your podcast than.
Oh, this one will beat the last one.
Probably. But more people will watch your podcast than probably, NBC. I'm not joking. I was in this show. What's the name? What was the name of this show? It's very famous in the States.
Tucker Carlson.
No. He has some rating. He has rating. No. This it has a club. 60 Minutes.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
I was in 60 Minutes, full show, full 60 Minutes. And I was very honored to be, in 60 Minutes and everything. And we did the show. The show went out. Nobody called me or texted me like, "Hey, you did well on the show." Nobody. I didn't receive a tweet.
What about after my one? Did you?
A lot of them, thousands. And after 60 Minutes, nobody. And I was like, did someone watch the show? I mean, the 60 Minute show. It's like this legacy media, they're fine and they have the right to do it. I mean, it's not like, I'm not criticizing because they're against them. It's just that they're not as relevant as they were. And not because of me or because of you, it's because that's reality. That's the new reality. I mean, TikTok, we have more views or that, all the three major networks in the United States.
Hence what you did at the UN.
Yeah. And it was different at that time. Now it has changed even more.